Okay, so there is a trick to putting these freezer tube walls together, and what I've got here is Microscale Industries Micro Crystal Clear. It's supposed to be a good general purpose glue for models, but specifically in this case, it's good for clear plastic, as it doesn't craze the clearness of the plastic. And what I mean by that is if you put model cement or super glue or most kinds of adhesives onto clear plastic, what'll happen is it'll get all foggy, even spider webby in some cases. In this case, like white glue, it doesn't. And I'm pretty sure this is probably very similar to white glue, but whether it's really just plain old white glue, I don't know. These parts do go together in a particular way. There's some long tabs. Well, there's tabs at both ends. The long tabs, which don't match, go on the bottom, and the two tabs that are the same height go on the top. So right now, you can probably see that white line down the seam. That will go away. This glue dries in about 15 minutes, it says. I don't particularly want to blob it on, however, as it dries clear and it's on a seam that belongs there. Usually seams, you gotta get rid of them, but in this case these seams are actually there in the show. I had glued these together a while ago. I don't know if it's on video at all, but I had this soaking in some simple green for a while just to help get rid of all the oils and any smudge marks that might have been on them. Well, not smudge marks, but basically just the oils and any greases or anything else that might have gotten on them. And what that did was to weaken the glue so much, same stuff, micro crystal clear here, it just weakened it so much after, no, that was probably in the drink for a few weeks actually, now that I think of it. So I'm not too surprised about that. There we are, 6 freezing tubes. I think this is the first one I did. So they do notch into the bottom here in a particular way. Just like that. I don't want to force them right now because the bond is still kind of fresh. But if you take a look at it, you'll see these actually sit at different heights. So the back side of the glass is on the bottom and the front side is just up above. And in the show, the front slides into the back or rotates into the back and round again once the people are in there. And an assembled freezer tube just looks something like looks like this right here, I guess. And that's it. These don't get to go down onto the model for a little while. I got to put the walls in place first. And it looks like this top goes on in a particular direction as well. Why this one is giving me a hassle, I don't know. That is pretty much that for this. So I'll put the other freezing walls together, and this section of the ship will essentially be done. One thing that I noticed in the updated painting guide is that there are wires coming down off of this red and purple thing here. So I may take some spare electrical wires and kind of droop those down. I don't know if they particularly connect anywhere. It looks like they do. So I'm going to have to check my reference for that. And those would go in before these, whatever the hell they are. Big aluminum egg holders, I guess. And of course, once this gets into the model, I can finally start putting the fiber optics through the top. The back of the wall is already lit in the base of the model, and I can't wait. So let me pack all this glue away, and I'll see you in the next video. So all I'm doing here is adding the slightest amount of super glue to help tack that in. It almost really doesn't need it, because what's going to go on with these parts is this floor piece will obviously go into the floor, and then the tube itself will be sandwiched between the bottom and the top, i.e. this piece, and then the ceiling goes directly above that, so it's going to be pretty well squished in. And I just want to give these things a tack of glue regardless. I was concerned about using the crazy glue because I didn't want to crazy up the clear plastic. However, in my first test it didn't do that, so consequently I'm not too worried, which is to say I am not worried at all. As long as you keep the glue under control, it should do what you want it to. And I'm not using so much that this piece couldn't be broken free if it needs to be down the road. There we go. I'm not going to glue the ceiling piece on yet because I may need to drill a hole in that, and if I do and it's glued on, then all the scrapings will go inside there. I will probably be drilling a hole, but I haven't fully decided yet. I gotta have these pretty much in place before I really make that decision. That includes being able to put the ceiling on top of this to actually see where these tops will line up on that, to know that I can stick an LED in here. And even then, the LED wouldn't be inside the tube, it would be the hole here, and the LED would be resting on top, so that it just sort of shines through. So we'll put these back in here, and let me bag these parts here